Hi, I'm Dr. Tracy Pearson, and I'm a legal, political, and cultural analyst on television and radio. I am speaking in my personal capacity and not on behalf of any network or radio station that I may appear on. I live in Los Angeles, California, and I woke up this morning to the most unbelievable piece of information, which is that my representative in my district, Adam Schiff, isn't supporting President Biden. I listened to his interview in clips on the internet because I didn't want to patronize the network that he was on. And what I heard him say was offensive. It was bullying. Now, I happen to be an expert in this area, and what I heard him say was condescending and bullying. The way he spoke was that he presumed that President Biden hadn't spoken to people who might be independent of him, that he seemed to be suggesting that President Biden wasn't speaking to the right people, and only, it seems, Adam Schiff knows who those right people are. And he seemed to be advocating to remove President Biden from the ticket and advocating to elevate Vice President Harris into the presidential candidate slot. Let me be clear as day. This is to Representative Schiff. Dude, I live in your district. And when the primary came around, you remember the primary? You were up against two women, and one being a Black woman. And I voted for you. The reason why I voted for you was because when you were on the January 6th committee, you were enraged over what Donald Trump had done. You were enraged about his attempt to disenfranchise voters. What I saw from you at this interview was an attempt to disenfranchise voters by bullying the President of the United States, the leader of your party and mine, and a guy that has done a fuckload of work and that every one of you sucked up to after the State of the Union. Remember the State of the Union? And all of you went and crowded and swarmed around him on the floor of the chamber, and he spoke to anybody who wanted to speak with him that night. And you doubt him because of a single debate performance? Where the fuck is the guy who championed democracy? Where's that guy? You don't champion democracy. You sound like a freaking opportunist. I can't fucking believe that I voted for you. I can't believe it. I don't have to vote for you come November. And unless I see, as a voter, a full-throated support of President Biden, you lose my vote. Period. You lose my vote. You sounded like milquetoast on that interview. And you sounded like a bully. And I am sick and fucking tired of white men telling me, as a woman, what I should think and how I should feel and who is the best and what should happen. What the fuck is wrong with you? Now, that's me as a white woman. Now, I don't think the Black women need any anger translator at all. But I, as a white woman speaking to you as a white man, will amplify the message. Get behind Biden. He's our nominee. He's who we voted for. And fuck if you guys will continue to drum this bullshit message that he can't win. Because you certainly didn't say he could win. So I'm left to believe you think he can't win. And that's bullshit. If you folks would listen to the voters, go on my Twitter feed, take a little time from your little activities today and go spend some time on my Twitter feed. You can find me at Tracy Explains. Look at what people are saying. What is wrong with you people? We send you to Washington to work for us. You get one goddamn vote. You get it in November like the rest of us, and you can choose accordingly. But this nonsense that you're engaged in, bullying him, and it's bullying, guys. And I mean that, guys, it's bullying, okay? This is absolutely beyond anything that I could have ever imagined from the Democratic Party. You're all opportunists. And we see you for what you are. Get behind your president, because you look un-American, you look undemocratic, you look like you're a Republican, for fuck's sake, when you disenfranchise the primary vote. That's what you look like. And when you start saying things to try to, encourage President Biden to make the right decision, that's code. That's code for get out of the election, get out of the race. This man has been in a situation where people have not believed in him in the past. They have always doubted him. And he has rose to the occasion every fucking time. Every time. He's not listening to you, because when you all do that in the past, he was right and he won. All he needs is the voters. He needs the voters. He doesn't need you. I mean, you're a voter, but he doesn't need you. He needs the voters, and he has the voters. The voters want their president. They love their president. They respect their president. They respect the vice president. And the vice president respects the president. So what's the problem? Like, you guys are all a mess. The reason why the GOP wins is because they know how to play the ground game. And the ground game is that you get behind your candidate. You get behind your candidate, okay? You know, you can call that a cult. And in the situation of Donald Trump, because he's a little bit, not a little bit, he's a problem. He's a problem. I mean, I've seen the Epstein documents. President Biden is a good man who has worked hard, who you all sucked up to and you suck up to, and you were more than happy to support him until he had a fucking cold. He had a cold. You've had a cold, right? Does your voice sound good when you have a cold? The amount of ageism and ableism that I'm seeing from my party, you guys want to call yourself the Big Ten party, and fuck you. You aren't the Big Ten party, okay? You always want perfection. You always want people to be perfect. There is racism in our party. There is ageism in our party. There is ableism in our party. People with disabilities feel forgotten. President Biden actually has a disability. He has a stutter. And that stutter can be exacerbated in certain circumstances if you know the science behind it. It can be exacerbated if you're sick. So if you have a cold, it can be exacerbated. It can be exacerbated if you're tired, and it can be exacerbated under stress. And there is not an excuse here. This is reality. And so when you have a stutter, your brain is moving faster than your mouth. And sometimes you even drop words. I do it. I have a little bit of a stutter. Listen to me on radio sometimes and you'll hear it. Especially when you're thinking. Your brain will put in words or drop words. I don't understand you. I don't understand this party anymore. This party doesn't seem to represent me. It doesn't seem to represent a lot of people. And the people who we elected don't seem to give a flying fuck about what we think. Here is the message, sir, Representative Schiff. If you want my vote, I better hear you supporting our president and your party leader. Otherwise, I'm voting for someone else. Now, it's very possible that Barbara Lee supports your position, but it's very possible she doesn't. And I can tell you that if Lisa Murkowski, who's got a really long name, can win her election on a write-in vote, Lee is really easy to spell. I don't care about you. I don't even care if you win. I care about the president, given the fact that the Supreme Court made him a king. So I care about the president, and I want President Biden on that ticket. And if you continue to bully this man, I don't care about you, and I don't care whether you win, and I will vote against you, and I will write in someone else. So hopefully you've heard me and I've spoken to you clearly enough. This is just a replay of 1968, only just a little bit differently. And we had rules that we changed because of that. We had rules, and we wanted to make voters the center. Ironically, the number of delegates you need to get the nomination, 1,968. 1968. He's got well over 3,000, close to 4,000 delegates. And those are pledged delegates. Those people have to honor the vote. So the only way that President Biden is coming off this ticket is if President Biden says he is. And President Biden says he's not. And the more you push, the harder you push, I have a feeling that this man is going to remain on this ticket. So knock it off, because you've got your own race to win, buddy. You've got your own race to win. And right now, you don't have this voter. Get behind your president, stop your foolishness, do your fucking job in Washington, and stop messing with our votes. Thank you.